Next card is the Judgment card. And the Judgment card, it connects to the Hebrew letter SHIN. SHIN, when you spell it out to a word form, has a numerical value of 360, just like a circle. So the card, when you come to it, it's like arriving at full circle. You come back to things that you've already been to before, but now at this time of your life, you're different, and you treat your situations and circumstances differently. You become more of like a leadership role, not less of a follower, and you start to lead with compassion, lead with heart, and just be really mindfully aware of how your words and your actions affect others. And you kind of like redeem yourself and prove your worth, and just know that you know, it's just getting easier, and you're learning a lot by life, and you're maturing, and things just don't seem as hard or as difficult or challenging as they used to. And going deeper into the card, if you look at it, so this is technically the last card of the deck. And so the first card would be the Fool, and the Fool begins his Fool's journey. And in the Fool card, he finally ends up at this card, just before you go into the World card, where you loop back up all the way up in that tarot wheel and start at the very beginning and start a whole new cycle, a whole new journey again. So this is like coming at that full circle where you come back to where you started from, but you are different. And you tackle things differently, and you handle things differently and better. And then the Fool card is the opposite of the Judgment card. Because in the Fool card, you see the Fool coming out of the snowy mountaintops, and he's just coming right out of the sun. He's like a ray of sunshine, and he melts all those mountaintop peaks and snowy peaks, and then it melts down into the valley below. And then that's why the Fool walks on the ledge so like carelessly, because he knows that when he falls into the valley, he'll fall into the water and he won't die. And so this card is the opposite side of that card, which you see the snowy mountains in the back, and they've all melted into the valley. And then the coffins have risen from the ground because of the floods, and then the people rise up. So it's kind of showing like the full circle. And also the Fool card is connected to the Hebrew letter Aleph, which is the first letter, and then Shin is towards the very end of the alphabet. And then it depicts the angel Gabriel, and he blows his horn, and he announces, he raises the dead and resurrects them from the dead, and then he announces everybody that Jesus Christ is going to come for the second coming. And so they have one more chance to redeem themselves of their sins before final judgment day. And so everybody rejoices, and they open up their hearts, and they just talk about how sorry they are and how they want to redeem themselves, and how they want to squash the past. They want to open up their hearts. They don't want to harden their hearts or hold guilt, resentments. They want to confess their sins, and they want to be forgiven and redeemed and earn their salvation. And so whenever you get this card, it always implies you should say sorry. You should squash the past. You should try to reconcile differences, or somebody else is going to do that same thing to you. And they're going to want to connect together, and maybe not reconnect like loving, but at least no more hard feelings. So it could go either way. It could go back and say, let's start over again and come full circle, and let's go try it one more time and like get a second chance of redemption. Or they're like, let's just I just want to save my peace so we don't have any hard feelings. But either way, it's like a person who just wants to redeem themselves and say, I'm sorry, apologize, and reconcile. And then further inside it, if you're looking for timing, this card could connect to the springtime, because the flag is like the English flag or flag of England. And it goes back to St. George, who's also one of those Crusader knights and Night King. And there's St. George's Day that they celebrate in the spring, really close to the spring equinox. And so the spring is a time of rebirth and rejuvenation and starting over. And kind of how the cycles come all the way around, full circle.